Touch.
People always talk about my come up, cause I've been going all every summer. Pussy wanna talk about numbers, but your manager buying swipe show so bummy, ain't nobody out now that can touch us.
What's up, y'all? It's Screw the Rules YuGiOh here, and I'm bringing you an update to my Branded Adventure Eldlich deck profile that recently just helped me go undefeated at locals this weekend at Everything Games. Guys, if you are in the Chicagoland and near the suburb of Buffalo Grove, please come out to Everything Games. Cody is an amazing host, and the pricing at this shop is insane, actually. There's just so much room and so much space for you guys. It's a great time. Please come through to Everything Games and meet Cody and meet his staff. They're all great people, and all they want to do is help you have fun and set up a great Yu-Gi-Oh tournament setting for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. And thank you guys so much for the recent support in the last couple of weeks towards the channel. It's been an amazing ride, and honestly, just hearing your guys' feedback and seeing the comments down below and just seeing the views go up, the likes go up, just everything going up, it's just insane. Thank you guys for the support, and make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys can know when I upload that 1,000 subscriber giveaway video. I'm working on it still, and I'm trying to make it a big giveaway that I want to do for my subscribers, just because it is a big milestone for me, and to show you guys my thank you for the support in the community. Again, thank you guys so much for supporting me. All right, y'all, with that being said, let's get into the deck profile, starting off with my tournament round matchup. So for round one, I faced off against CashApp, and that was a 2-0 because I had Nibiru and I dropped Lava Golem on him the second game. Round two, I versed another CashApp deck, and that one we barely got the win on, just because that zone locking is no joke. If you don't have the outs to that, it's no fun. You're not gonna play. It's no fun, especially once they've learned what kind of deck you play. They're gonna know which zones to lock up first. But we still got that one. That one was 2-1. And then the third round, I versed Branded Despia by Steel, and that one we got the win with the skin of our teeth, because that deck is still scary. Please be aware that Branded is a deck and that you should be prepared for the outs and the strategies and how the deck plays. And then in my last round, round four, I versed another Kashtira deck, and unfortunately in Yu-Gi-Oh, time rules are a thing, and time got the better of us, and we ended in a draw for that one. But regardless, the deck still performed really well and against the actual current meta, which is Kashtira and Branded. But still, our deck prevailed and the Golden Boy came through as always. But anyway, guys, let's get into this main deck profile, starting off with our monster lineup. We have two Golden Boys in the main. Now that Tier Element Ishizu is out of the format and Bysteals are kind of less rampant now, I think running two Golden Boy ratio is still the best ratio in my opinion, just because I want to see you sometimes, not all the times, and I really just want to dump you off with Branded Fusion. If I dump you off with Branded Fusion and they don't have a Bysteal in hand, we are off to the races, boy, because this guy does so much in the graveyard, and if we do draw him, it's not the be-all, end-all in the world, just because he's still has a destruction send off with discarding him with a spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard. He is the heart and soul of the deck. He is a great utility, and he just gets everything going, and he guarantees you game, and that non-destruction effect for when he comes off with that boost is insane. So all hail the Golden Lord. Next up is that we still run the adventure package, so I have two Water Girls and one Griffin. I really like the ratio of two Water Girls just because I am running Foolish Burial in the deck, so that is automatically the third copy of her. I love Griffin with this package because who doesn't love an Omni Negate? It baits out cards that your opponent's gonna do, but it also helps you by forcing your opponent to play around this card, and then they have to get rid of a resource to get this card off the field. But again, who doesn't love Omni Negates? And we love negating stuff. I love the Brave package in this deck. Next up is our Branded Fusion targets that we run. So we run two Fallen of Albaz and one Banshee. Technically, Golden Lord is also our Branded Fusion target that we dump off so we can make Albion. I run Banshee just because Zombie World is still a card that locks out like a lot of decks. So especially since there's so much rogue in the format. If you're versing like a plant player and you send this card off of Branded Fusion and they see that and they're seething. And plus, Flu is still rampant around. You activate Zombie World, Flu cannot do anything. They literally just sit there just going like, why'd you do that? Like, why? Banshee, in my opinion, is just still relevant, still good for this format. That's it for our Branded targets. Next up is our hand traps. So I am running 3 Ash in the main. Please pardon my misrarities. Running 3 Ash just because Ash is one of the most versatile hand traps in this format right now. And since Branded Despia is a popular deck right now, when you Ash that Branded Fusion, it hurts them. It hurts them to the point where if they don't have a follow-up, they literally set one and then they pass. This can also hurt Kashtira if you do it on their Prometheus, the one spell card, or the field spell. If you hit that and they have no extenders, they just sit there just going like, I guess I'll set one and pass, you know? So Ash is still relevant, it's still prevalent, and it's still one of the most hard-hitting hand traps in my opinion. Ashing a certain choke point in your opponent's strategy, that hurts. So I think Ash is still good at 3 because I want to see it. Next hand trap, the freaking MVP for locals, 3 Nibiru, 3 Space Rock. This hand trap is absolutely bonkers against Kashtira. They do their entire play, right? And you hope they don't have that Forbidden Lance, because some of them do, you know, some of them be techie. But if they don't have that Forbidden Lance and they go through their turn and they start saying, all right, I'm gonna go to my end phase, and you just say, before you go to end phase, end of main, drop Space Rock, you win. You literally win that game. Like, if you drop Space Rock, you win. And there's just so many rogue matchups that are just spam summoning and they're not respecting Nibiru. For this format, I definitely say main Nibiru. You can always side them out if you're versing a matchup that doesn't you know, combo. All right, next up is our board breakers that I run in the deck. So I'm still running 3 Kashtira Fenrir, and guys, again, this card has one job. Its one job is to bait and put pressure on the board. When you special summon Fenrir and you ask your opponent, is the summoning good? And they think about it. They're like, yeah, I think it's good. And then you activate the effect. You have no idea how many times I'm like, Ash this. Please Ash this. Please Ash this so Branded Fusion in my hand are right and the adventure package can go off. Please Ash this. Because again, this puts so much pressure on your opponent. They literally start thinking. And the fact that this guy has attack on attack deck, target 1 card, banish it face down, or if your opponent activates a monster effect on res, target, banish 1 face down, he puts so much pressure. So again, Fenrir, I still say play him because he's a great board breaker and he just puts so much pressure on that board. My last board breaker is I am maining 3 lava golems in the main, just because versing Kashtira, if you don't draw the nib, you know, you're just gonna sit there while they play solitaire and while they zone lock you. If you happen to draw this and you lose dice roll and you draw this, you're feeling pretty good because you just get rid of the Rise Heart or the Shangri-La, slap that on the board, and continue on with your day playing your deck. Just slapping this and getting rid of 2 cards that just cause problems is amazing. I really like maining Lava Golem this format, and I think this card put in a lot of work during my matchups in the tournament. All right, guys, so that's it for the monster lineup. So let's head over to our spell. So for my spell lineup, I played 3 Pot of Extravagance. I really prefer playing Extrav over Prosperity just because that draw 2 is so important in this deck, because your deck at the end of the day, as much as it has a lot of broken spell cards, it's still a back row heavy deck. That draw 2, again, guys, I'm telling you, it's so needed. It's also like a debate too. Like, again, we have spell cards that Branded Fusion, right, Faithful Adventure, like, you want those cards to resolve. If they drop Ash on this, great, I'm gonna go off because I know Ash already dropped. In my opinion, it's just better than digging for one specific card in your deck, just because hand resource is such an important thing in Yu-Gi-Oh. You guys already know when you're already down 1 card and you look at your opponent has 5 or 6, you know you're losing that game, man, because you're just behind too much. And you don't mind your banishment resources, like your fusion monster zones, you're always gonna have enough pieces for Branded Fusion to go off. And, you know, my next spell card that I run for a power breaker is Branded Fusion. Guys, you have no idea when I drop this card and people just look at me like, okay, I'm playing Despia, and they see me drop Golden Boy or they see me drop Banshee and they just go, what are you doing? It's priceless. And this card just does so much for the deck. This gets you to Banshee. This gets you to the Golden Lord, the heart and soul of your deck that just plows through your opponent. Branded Fusion is just so good in this deck, and it puts so much pressure, and it just helps your deck just to build a board presence that much faster. So Branded Fusion, I love it. It's a must. It's great. And the next up is our adventure package. So 1 Foolish Burial, 2 Rite of Armistier, 1 Faithful Adventure, and 1 Draco back. I love this ratio, just 2 Rite of Armistier, because again, we run Foolish Burial, and Foolish Burial just gets us to so many of our combo pieces. It gets us to Rite if we drop off Water Enchantress. It gets us to Golden Lord if that's the missing piece we need to perform the OTK or to just grind out. We can drop off Banshee if we're playing a deck where their monster attribute is relevant for all their cards to access. It does so much to run Foolish Burial in your deck just because you have so many targets that just push you to end the game. Rite of Armistier, all I'm gonna tell you is this card is amazing. And I'm surprised that Konami has not hit the right package in any way, shape, or form. It's just so gas. And Draco back, I'm sorry, just does so much for the deck. You can bounce your Lava Golem back, which is cheese. Slap it again if your opponent builds a board. Also, your opponent forgets all the time that, you know, if you battle with your token, this saves it if it has Adventure up on the field because it saves with the equips. You can also bounce a card if it's a Floodgate or it's something like really troublesome. You get to bounce it with this card. It just does so much. And Faithful Adventure, like I said before in my last deck profile, this card just does so much. that discard is so needed in your deck. You can discard Golden Lord, you can discard one of the Elixir spell and trap pieces that you have, or you can discard Banshee if you really need to. It just does so much for your deck, and I really implore that you guys run the adventure engine in your build. It just does so much, and it puts so much gas to this deck. And then my last spell card that I do play is the one Zombie World for the Banshee. Again, you may think it's cheese, but Zombie World, like I said, it makes your opponent play really weird. And depending on what deck it is, it's the worst nightmare for your opponent. I'm so sorry to the flu players out there. You just don't know what kind of rogue matchup you're gonna have, just because the meta is like, you know, all over the place currently because of that wild ban list. So I do really like Zombie World in today's format. All right, guys, so that's it for my spells. Let's get into the traps that I run. So we obviously run our Golden Lord Elixir package, the 3 Sanguine, the 3 Conquistador, and instead of 2, I am playing 1 Hoquero this time. I cut it down to 1 just because I really needed the room for the hand traps or for the Floodgate that I'm going to be playing next, just because we're no longer in a tier element Shizu format where the graveyard's so reliant. But regardless, this engine is still sauce. Still sauce. Oh my god, still sauce. Next up is our Floodgate. So we run 3 summon limit in the main. So the reason why I run summon limit is that it doesn't really hurt your deck that much if you draw this, because again, you have the Golden Boy, and if they don't have a Bysteel to make you cry, that Golden Boy guarantees you that you're winning through this summon limit and your opponent's just crying when you flip this over. If you go first, you draw this, and you're versing a combo deck on that second summon or on that first summon, if you really want to, you know, beat cheeks, you slap this card, you activate it, and your opponent's just like, why are you doing this? Why do you not want me to have fun? And it's because, you know, you want to win. F your fun. I want to win here. No, I don't care. I know your deck combos, and I know you're going to summon more than 2 times, so I'm going to stop you, and that way I can kill you for the next turn. But again, summon limit, I think it's just really good this format. There's so many decks that just summon so much. And again, it doesn't hurt your deck just because you have Golden Lord to send it off for cost. So that's it for the 3 summon limit. It put in a lot of work. And the card that also put a lot of work was 3 Solemn Strikes. Getting Bysteel is not fun, man, but Solemn Strike just guarantees that Bysteel is no longer happening. That card's getting ripped from your hand, and it stops chains. Like, it guarantees you that your chain link is going off because you are the last one to activate, just because of the spell speed 3, the counter trap that it is. But you just gotta play really strategic with this card and basically outplay your opponent, where you know where he's gonna play, and you know that, okay, you're gonna activate that. That means I'm gonna chain this, and it's gonna resolve in my favor. I really do love it in the main. It just helps me so much. That's it for the main deck. It's a 45 card main deck. So let's get into the extra deck, starting off with the badass token of my friends. God bless you guys. I love you guys. All right, starting off with 3 Albion. Again, I'm playing 3 Albion because I want to make sure that this one is live when I activate Branded Fusion, and I've already activated Extra because I do want Golden Lord in the grave. And since we're running the Nibiru in our deck, if our opponent happens to Bysteel us to clear heaven, we still have a target for this guy to come out and, you know, do the shenanigans that is summon Mary Jane. Next up, we have 2 Lubellion. I'm only running 2 because I only have 1 target for Lubellion, which is Banshee. Obviously, he's still really good because that discard fodder does come up. Sometimes I'll summon this guy if I know I'm playing Despia just because I'm trying to layer on the Bysteels. Discarding a Golden Lord or discarding one of those traps to get your Golden Lord engine going is so crucial. And then last for our Branded piece is the 3 Mirror Jade. I have to play him at 3 for the X-Trap just because I need to see this card. This card puts so much pressure on your opponent. The fact that it is a non-target banish is actually insane, and it gets to blow up your board and Regeki your opponent's monsters. That's actually insane to me. Next is our Super Poly lineups, because I do play Super Poly on the side. 1 Garua, 1 Predaplant, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Mud Dragon, and 1 Draco Necrosoul. Since tier element's not big of a prevalent anymore, they don't come up as often, but still, I think these are just generically good Super Poly targets. The only one that I'm mainly thinking about taking out, since I'm not relying too heavy on the zombie lineup, is Draco Necrosoul, just because I'm not running Rivalry or Zombie World lockup anymore. But I still haven't been here just because I do play an extra Zombie World in my side, so if Zombie World is up, that just means Super Poly's life for me no matter what. So again, I really like these Super Poly targets. Garua, you get to draw 1. Predaplant, you get to stop monster effect. Starving Venom, you get to gain attack and blow up the board if they get rid of it, and it's sent to graveyard. Mud Dragon, just because it's Super Poly target. And then lastly, for our last 2 in our extra deck, is 2 Links, 1 Linkuriboh and 1 Vampire Sucker. 1 Linkuriboh just because the Ibly lock is real and it just outs it. 1 Vampire Sucker because, dude, drawing is insane. Drawing that card that is like either a board breaker, or that's the extension to your board, or that's the card that just wins you the game, is so necessary. Obviously, right now, you have to be very careful with what card you Monster Reborn with, just because there's so many cards that can just plus if they get sent to the graveyard again. So keep that in mind. But regardless, drawing a card is still great. Alright guys, let's get into this side deck that helped me go undefeated at locals this weekend. So first off, we're starting with 3 Book of Eclipse. Obviously, we have 3 Book of Eclipse because Kashtira is the most popular deck in the room, basically meta right now for the current format. And this card just says bye-bye to the whole board and you're breaking the board, and your deck has no problem outing like every monster that's there. They're not going to draw off this card and they're not going to flush. Actually, one of the reasons that I won a lot against my Kashtira matchups is because every time they activated this on me, they wouldn't be able to break my board or destroy any of my monsters, so I drew like 2 or 3 cards. And again, guys, hand resource in Yu-Gi-Oh, don't do that to your opponent. Like, don't give them the hand resources. Like, they're just gonna plus off more and they're just gonna have more to like game you. Like, hand resource is no joke in this game. But again, Book of Eclipse because Kashtira is a thing and we don't like getting our zones locked. Next up, we played 2 Super Poly in the side, and I put it down to 2 just because it doesn't come up as often. So when you're in a matchup like Branded Despia or Mathmeg or Sprite, and you know this card is good in the matchup, then I can side this in. And because we're playing 2 Super Poly, I am again with it. I'm playing the 1 Zombie World with it, just so my Dragon Necro is alive, but also putting more pressure on the board if the deck that I'm playing does not like Zombie World. So dealing with 1, you get rid of it. Now you have to deal with 2. Oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, 2 Super Poly, 1 Zombie World. And then in the side, I'm playing 3 evenly matched. This card is actually insane. Literally, it breaks the whole board. And this card forces your opponent to just like, what do I do, man? But what I really love this card for is like the back row. I really expected to play like Labyrinth, or I expected to play the new Trap Trick structure deck that just came out. Evenly matched, just make sure that all those problems go away. And it's just one powerhouse card that says bye-bye to your opponent's field and helps you just get more traction and gets you right back into the game. So I really think 3 evenly matched in this format is correct. Next on is I'm playing 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance just because we are a back row deck. People are going to side in Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone, Lightning Storms, basically all the back row hate Feather Dusters so that you don't get to play and you don't get to pop off. But because this format is also reliant on the opponent activating monster effects, it stops cards like Triple Tactics Thrust or Triple Tactics Talent. And since you know your opponent's going to side for those cards, flipping this card on them and they have a handful of spells or they have that Triple Tactics Thrust to end the game or to plus off and they can't activate it yet, hurts them and it just pluses you off and it just puts you in a great position. Okay, I really like anti-spell just because a lot of people are playing spells and a lot of board breaker spells, but also board breakers like Triple Talent Thrust and Triple Tactic Talent are so popular right now in this format that I think anti-spell is a good side card against those cards. Next up is Different Dimensional Barrier, just because there's a lot of XYZ, Synchro, and Fusion decks, Despia, Sword Soul, and Kashtira that are just running rampant, and you just want to make sure that you would just have a good card going first that just says you're passing, right? And it's no fun, you know? And then you basically control the game from there. I really like to do D-Barrier. I may cut it though. Again, it's not the greatest to me, but we're going to see as we continue with future testing. Then the last 2 in my side that I really love is 2 Solemn Judgment. And I'm running 2 in my side just because of how I side out cards and how that works for me in a personal preference. But activating Judgment is just crazy because again, people are doing the back row stuff on you. This like cards like Evenly Matched, or if you're debating, you activate your Griffin and they activate Thrust. So on Judgment, because I don't want you searching a board breaker to break the deck or to make you come back. This card just saves your whole board. Board from Lightning Storm, saves your whole board from Evenly Matched, saves your whole board from Duster. It's just so good. The only thing I have to say is that you have to be very wary, especially in games 2 and 3 for time. Just make sure that you have plenty of time to activate this card where it doesn't hurt you, because again, you're not playing cards like Spooky Dogwood to help you with all the life coin count that you're taking. But again, you're playing a back row deck, you need to save your cards. This card just helps you a lot. And that's it for the side deck, guys. And that's it for my deck profile. Guys, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of this video. I really do appreciate all the love and support that you guys give me. Please, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you guys know when I drop my videos. I'm just so grateful for you guys. And keep on the lookout for that 1K subscriber giveaway video and the shorts. Me and Tito, we're going to keep experimenting, bro. We're going to keep doing it. And I'm going to keep running the Golden Lord and bringing you guys updated deck profiles that I get from locals or hopefully a regional win, you know? But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the deck profile, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Search. People always talk about my come up, cause I've been going on every summer. Pussy wanna talk about numbers, but your manager buying swipe show, so bummy ain't nobody out now.